check our sound levels. And good afternoon, Gotham. Good morning, good evening, whatever the case may be. It is 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to leave it at that. It is 3/23, 2022. Now, horrifically apologizing, out of character, out of the normal time slot, but it has been very interesting just since my very piss poor, pathetic attempt at even trying a show last night. Should at least have the notes and be able to, oh, boom, 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 boom. So I apologize to all of you that please slam and continue to critique any comments through scootermcgee.com. You can shoot me an email. You can go on Facebook. You can go on Twitter, see all the headlines I'm posting. And if you are supporting this project, thank you for your support. And all of that through Patreon and other endeavors, just reaching out and saying, hey, thanks. So there's been an amazing series of headlines, even though, of course, now the emergency summit, President Biden has traveled now to Europe. Well, there's a lot of other stories floating that may now suddenly get, oh, we forgot about. No. So President Biden, again, the continued promises of all the funding and the money, and from nutrition to ammunition. President Biden is increasing the number of NATO troops in the region, but there's going to be no troops. I mean, not in Ukraine. Just okay. There are scattered, and it is very problematic of how many different reports of the number of refugees. 2.5 million, 3.5 million, or 6.5 million Ukrainian refugees. The situation in Mariupol, and I tried to go down this rabbit hole last night and I couldn't, and I'm going to try very quickly. In the initial accounts of Mariupol, that was the city that allegedly had 200,000 people evacuate overnight. And I came on the air that night and I said, there is no way that's possible. The satellites would have seen it. The International Space Station would have seen it. A town of 400,000 people, half of them don't disappear overnight, going somewhere. The sheer thermal image of that overnight would appear on satellite infrared. Um, I don't know if I know the X-37B spy plane. It's the space plane. It's the spy plane. Um, what's flying? Is the SR-71 still flying? Honestly, is the U-2 still flying? The drones are flying, and the drones are showing us a lot. They didn't show 200,000 people flee Mariupol. And now the devastation is Mariupol is low on water and food and supplies and the people. But wait a minute, how many have died in Mariupol alone, and the children? And remember the drama house or the drama theater and the parking lot marked children, and how many? Wait a minute, how many did die? How many bodies under there? How do we know any of these numbers are true? Are we to believe what we're being told is true? The Ukrainians are retaking areas that Russia was holding allegedly in the Russian war maps. I've tried every night on this show to put the latest intel, and what is the latest intelligence? We don't know. But northwest of Kiev, northwest of Kiev, the Ukrainians are doing rather well. The Russians are not. They are taking heavy casualties and losses. Now, the Pentagon at least is forced to admit that it apparently, according to their intelligence now, we were reporting this 2 weeks ago, that we said 8 to 10%. No, they're now admitting to 10% of the losses of the Russian forces. That is catastrophic when you think about the sheer volume and the percentage of Russian forces, dead soldiers in body bags going home to the moms, the kids, the grandparents. Oh, a new generation of anger and hate we can't imagine yet, because no one wants to discuss the Soviet mentality. Um, Another day for Katanya Jackson Brown. Good success regarding her possible, uh, well, the hearings regarding her nomination to the United States Supreme Court. How this plays out, can't tell you yet. Um, Along with the announcement of White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki unable to attend the European summit with her boss because she tested positive for COVID. And in following with the Center for Disease Control guidelines, she would not be making the trip. And we thanked her last night on Twitter for that. And oh, we forgot one. Hillary Rodham Clinton has had to inform the world that she tested positive for COVID. Okay, the United States and the United Kingdom have now entered into a aluminum deal regarding the aluminium for our friends across the pond. Um, we should probably look into that, don't you think? What's the deal on aluminum? Because there's going to be a shortage. Vladimir Putin is preparing sanctions. Um, I'm sorry. Excuse me. That was a Freudian slip. Putin. President Biden is preparing sanctions now on hundreds of Russian lawmakers. Okay. The Western media now is reporting that the BA2 variant for COVID may in fact surge this next week. Alarming numbers are starting to come in. Um, the media is touting President Joe Biden's presence in Brussels, and the emergency summit as now a high stakes meeting. Okay. Are we going to argue 28 or 29 days into this Bugatti? Um, Dmitry Peskov from the Russian group does not rule out the use of nuclear weapons when being interviewed on CNN's with Christiana Amanpour. We're not ruling out nukes, says Dmitry Peskov on the overnight replay with Christiana Amanpour on CNN. Out of the world of the financial markets. Don't worry about your IRA and your 401k, your hedge fund. Look, it's too big for you. So we're going to start explaining economics to you on a whole new level. This should just, you know what? As a former DJ, this pisses me off. You're a DJ. No, you're not. The CEO of Goldman Sachs is going to be a DJ. Well, he is a DJ. Isn't it nice to see somebody on Wall Street who has an activity out? Because the high pressure hours and the work and the stress of on Wall Street, and you're the head of Goldman Sachs, and now he's one of those he's pretending to be wow, okay. It's National Puppy Day, so you can send your recipes for, see, kittens are better, but economic times are going to get tough. If you have a good recipe for puppies, you can shoot them to me at scooter@scootermcgee.com. Happy National Puppy Day. So 28, 29 days into this, a 28-day cycle as we get ready for another lunar cycle. I have an interesting point of order, Madam Chair. Where are we? Everyone's denouncing and demonizing and blockading and boycotting. Where are the people in the doomsday clock? We use this for, the whole Cold War. Where's not the whole Cold War? Where's the doomsday clock people? Because the Russian cat people have spoken up. Got some interesting headlines from France, um, bringing up the doomsday clock. How many seconds to midnight are we now? Um, Again, Katenji Jackson Brown is standing on her record, and she is not soft on crime, and she's certainly not soft on pedophiles, and she's uh, she's proud of her Catholic heritage and understands where Roe. And then she threw out another name. Wait a minute, Roe versus Wade, and that's the. Oh no, there's another. Okay, well, and then court packing and critical race theory and all of that. Well, that's just um, gender phobia, xenophobia, transphobia, and you're afraid of black people and black women and empowerment and all of that. So okay, that's in the headlines. Um, President Obama, excuse me, President Obama, the Freudian slips, they're coming out all over the place. President Biden is promising more sanctions to be announced during this European NATO summit. Oh, it gets better. Remember when he first put the sanctions in, when they first did the invasion? And the comment was, we'll have to see where the sanctions are in 30 days. Again, is it 28 days, 29 days since the military exercises clearly weren't and were exposed for a war? This isn't a world war. Stop saying World War III. But what Vladimir Putin has done is an illegal war, and it's an immoral war, and it's an unjust war. And I still ask, what war is just, moral, or legal? Um, the interesting video coming out of China and the the jetliner that nose down. What the hell? Well, we may not be able to find it. You better find it. Well, it's in a remote area. Look, something's up. Well, they found the black box. Now, get this, the black box is allegedly, quote, badly damaged. Okay, so we'll see what telemetry, if any, we get out of the black box. Prince William and Duchess Kate are in Jamaica. Um, oh, the Hollywood Minute, the Oscars. Oh, good. It is going to be a series of historic firsts for the Oscars. The first for this and the first for that, and yada, yada, yada. How many firsts can we have this year for the Academy Awards, for the Oscars? I don't know. The chatter on the internet has been correct most of the time since the military exercises turned into an invasion of sheer volume of troops, the casualty numbers, and how a lot of this was getting out because it was being scanned and monitored and intercepted because it wasn't encrypted. And the continued, and we cannot verify this source. You got to run it through a translator. You know, that's what they're saying. Now, is that phone call real or is it propaganda? See, well, that's not just one. There are dozens and now hundreds of them that have been recorded of what is this chatter. It is the Russian military talking to each other on unencrypted lines that are being monitored. Now, in the world of intelligence and counterintelligence, interesting photos, videos, satellite, drone, call it what you will, that the Ukrainians have managed to seize, along with destroy so much, obviously. Not necessarily the Russians destroying everything, by the way. Not saying the Ukrainians are, I mean, the Ukrainians, by all designation and accounts of what we are to believe is true, they're wreaking havoc on the Russians. Having said that, there are too many reports to no longer discount that the Ukrainians have seized a command control, a command post, and it was a very specific one, which makes me suspicious of it all in the timing and the continued need for the no-fly zone and the push to do the F-16 MiG deal. So if it's disinfo, misinfo, and propaganda, it's well placed. I'll give it that. but that there is a command post that was sealed, secure, excuse me, that was seized by the Ukrainians. If reports are true, this was a command post that specializes in electronic messing with the NATO planes. See, I'm not that tech guy for the aircraft industry. It does its electronic thing and it futzes with the planes. Now there have been some other interesting accounts that were coming out that certain aircraft were posted at this altitude and they were here. So does this technology really exist? Was it really deployed? Was this really a command and control center to futz with the aircraft? And the Ukrainians got it? Now, you want to talk about a wet dream for the Western intelligence groups. They would want this. That may be a key piece of leverage now with Zelensky in that I need the MiGs. You're going to have to pony up the F-16s. At that moment, World War III now kinetically exists. So that's why I say that this discovery, this intelligence, these images need to be taken with a deep breath, a grain of salt, and a shot of your choice. I would prefer you not all get drunk during this, but if you have to just to get through it, I understand. The French, you save the best for last. Maybe now with the BA2 variant and the threat, and now the anger directed at France. Oh, good. This will work out. They're going to give up French toasts, French fries. They may even, just to the fear of COVID, they may give up French kissing. Let's see where this one goes. You remember Renault, Le Car, Le George, Renault. Well, there's other problems here amongst this, but Renault is refusing to close their plant in Moscow. Now they've settled out 45,000 employees. What are you going to do? You seen the cars in Russia? So that's where the Le Car went. No, Le Comrades. Renault, there's a bigger story. Think of the French, cheese and wine and all that. Oh, we need chocolate. Swiss Miss. No, Nestle. Nestle is going to finally suspend. Now, is this really going to happen? Because they've been kicking the whole way. Nestle is to suspend its products in Russia. So we're not just talking about Swiss Miss instant cocoa. If Nestle makes that, I don't know. I was just being a jackass. Um, Nestle Foods. Do you have any idea how much food they provide to the Russia, to the former Soviet Union? Oh, this could get good quick. And the food and the water and all that. Nestle Foods. So far, approximately 400 companies now have suspended operations in Ukraine. Excuse me, suspended operations in Russia because of the war in Ukraine. They continue to say war, but this isn't World War III. So I don't know what this is. Those are your headlines and an update because the summit is going on and they're having meetings, seeing it's the overnight and it's the afternoon and the morning, wherever you are. So I appreciate the time you gave me. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a comment and critique. And in the meantime, I'll try and see you every night at 11 o'clock. The world is changing, things are happening, and the more I can tell you, I will. But I did want to give an update through all this because I fear the talking points in the news now, as again, I deliberately unplugged 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern. They're running the news. No, let it play through and see what the talking points come out and why are they all saying the same thing? Gee, you'd think the sponsors and the advertisers would be mad. They want breaking news. There's a reason to come to our network, not theirs. Whew. Have we checked into the laptop yet? Has the laptop of Hunter Biden allegedly even been verified? Boy, I sure hope everyone was right and that there was Russian disinformation and it was just the orange man being bad. So, the politics aside, Gotham, please understand from all party political ideologies They never solve a crisis. They can only manage it. And they need to manage you and your fear and your anger and keep massaging and manipulating and directing you into a direction they wanted you to go, like a good little rat in a maze. So don't be that. Be an independent thinker. Hear a headline, click the link, read the story. So much of these headlines now are clickbait because the what was considered mainstream media and even the internet media sources were so deceptive that nobody trusts any headlines anymore. So don't even trust the ones I gave. Be well, be safe. Hopefully, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, maybe tell an enemy. This guy wasted my whole day. Uncle George, watch this guy. You'll love him. I watched it 4 times. I still don't get it. I don't either. Be well, be safe. God bless and Godspeed, Gotham.